Welcome my friends, welcome back to Project Tasks. If you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. If you've watched any of my previous videos, thank you for returning to my channel. Today we're doing another Blake 7 episode review from Season 4. As always, I will point out that this review will inevitably touch upon certain plot elements of this episode, and may even reveal developments for the series of Blake 7 as a whole. So if you haven't seen this episode, or anything else in terms of Blake 7, a huge spoiler alert is in order in case you wish to do a bit of Blake 7 catch-up prior to watching this review. You have been warned. Right, let's get to it, shall we? We've had the monster movie episode, the slasher flick episode, even the horror romantic episode with Vampire Sand. Season 4's next genre, the heist story. It's not out of the realms of something the crew would want to get involved in. After all, Avon and Villa did knock off a casino in Season 2's Gambit, although that was more through cheating and table fixing rather than daring theft. What this needed to be, if it's going to work, is simply be a good episode. I know that sounds obvious and non-specific, but given the fact that the series is becoming more serialised vis-a-vis Piling 50, albeit only loosely at this point, monitoring Federation going-ons, etc., if we're going to veer off course to try and get rich all of a sudden, it still needs to be Blake 7. The characters need to be who they have always been. The episode needs to be given the attention to detail that Season 4 seems to be finally receiving. And it's with a huge, satisfied sigh of relief that I can say that Gold receives exactly that attention. We have here a good episode. In fact, given the awfulness that got us through the opening half dozen episodes, I'm happy to say Season 4 is now getting better all the time. Our heroic band of heroic bandits initially seem rather subdued, but that's probably because Villa's taking more of a back seat here, so his cowardly attempts to talk himself out of danger, or work, are absent. And that's probably because there's not enough room in a scene between him and Avon's old friend, Keeler, the most jovial criminal I remember meeting in Blake 7. I assume they're old friends, as Keeler calls Avon old friend more than he calls him Avon, although how and why Avon would ever associate himself with such a character probably needed a little more explaining, which is odd given the large amount of exposition in this episode. I wondered if Keeler was the bumbling assistant of Avon and Tynus when they attempted the audacious 500 million credit theft. Maybe it was Keeler who hid Avon after he got shot by the dealer. I can't believe that slimeball Tynus would have objected too much to Avon's demise, but unfortunately we'll never know. Avon and the rest of them hold Keeler at gunpoint in typical paranoid stance, although to Keeler they might as well be holding lollipops given how merrily he tells them his plan to rob several billions of credits worth in gold. It essentially follows thusly. The Space Princess, the enormous ship they are currently having this criminal meeting, which is being controlled only by Keeler and his automatic pilot apparently, is used to ferry black gold between the planet it comes from to the planet it can be turned into normal yellow-coloured gold, or gold-coloured gold, and then turned again into vast quantities of wonga. The plan to steal the gold cannot be as simple as merely flying off with the gold due to the colour of the gold, the aforementioned going from black to yellow, and this can only take place on the second planet, which happens to be Earth. Keeler has a buyer for the black gold. They claim to have their own means to turn the black gold back into yellow gold, but we're still left with the security for the black gold on the Space Princess, meaning we still can't just fly off with the gold, otherwise the security would probably get a bit angsty. So we require an incredibly convoluted and daring plan to rob the gold from the Space Princess, transport it to Scorpio, and fly it off to the meeting spot where the sale will take place. And no, it can't be teleported. The writers thought of that one. Because of the molecular makeover the gold gets to turn it from black to yellow, the gold would merely become dust. Something that has never happened with the teleport before, but for the very thing they're trying to steal, it's a certainty. So we need to outsmart security cameras, shoot guards, overcome booby traps, fake illnesses by being deliberately infected with real illnesses, induce distress signals, answer the distress signals, and still find that the plan didn't work nearly as well as perhaps it should have done, and we still need a rapid shoot-'em-up escape resulting in lots of dead people that all gets the pulses racing. And it's bloody brilliant. Convoluted, confusing, and all added in to try and come up with the most difficult theft ever. It doesn't exactly feel like one of those Mission Impossible scenarios, probably because we're helping Keeler break into his own ship, but it's just as much fun. There's also this whole bit at the beginning where they're breaking into the plant on the first planet to reprogram the plant, the gold process, or something. Hang on, let me check. Okay, what they were doing was getting the gold through the processor so that it didn't turn black, and then snaggle it once it was on board the Space Princess. But evidently someone knew they were coming, and so that bit went all Pete Tong, hence the daring raid on the Space Princess, which wasn't a daring raid, more a sneaky theft that became daring. 9/10 of the episode is excellent, but we know that the real bonus of the episode will be when the sale takes place, the exchange of money for the black gold. We know the buyers won't be your everyday gangsters. We know it's not going to go exactly to plan. We know there's another twist to reveal. How annoying that instead of putting a bit more inventiveness behind it, all we get is that the buyer is Servalan. Again. Yet again. Personally attending a dwindling mining operation, checking out gross animals, overseeing a botched assassination attempt on the crew, to name but a few of the items on her busy schedule, and now she's doing shady gold deals. There is one massive hint that she's going to be in the picture somehow when Avon uses a photocopier to learn about Keela's background, but it still feels like too easy and obvious a twist. In fact, it's not really a twist, more a reveal. I don't know if I would say this disappointed me. It certainly doesn't ruin the episode. I guess it would have elevated the episode if it had been something different, a bit more original. But it now settles back into the formulaic. I don't know. Maybe I was a little disappointed. But not for long. What rubs salt into the wound is that when our heroes are salivating over the rather stupid-looking currency, it's revealed that due to some further shady dealings by Servalan, the planet that the currency comes from is about to cede to the Federation, and the said currency is about to become invalid. The fact this planet is about to join the Federation is evidently the means as to how the black gold will be processed back into yellow gold, meaning that as well as deny a penny's worth of profit for Avon and the rest, Servalan will actually make herself a rather good return. And when this all comes to light, with the crew becoming rather despondent and balmy at the same time, it culminates with Avon doing an almost manic laugh, crushing some of the useless money in his hands. Now for this ending, this last twist, now it makes sense for the episode's primary nemesis to be Servalan. Now we get the reward, albeit the heroes lose theirs. In fact, you could call it the anti-reward. As I said, it rubs salt into the wound. You just have to get through that Servalan reveal to get that something different thing. Are people going to be miffed that yet again our heroes leave with nothing? That in spite of what I think is a clever final scene, it needed Servalan's presence to get us over the finish line? Probably. Or maybe not. I mean, let's be honest, all these endeavours and missions they're going on, you'd have thought that at least one or two of them would have paid off in some respect. And Servalan. Again. Yet again. She was never supposed to be in it this much, but brace yourself, still 2 more episodes to follow for the Commissioner. I will concede you are left with a feeling of futility at the end. Something of a, we went through all that, for that. A little bit of, why do we bother? But like I say, it's still fun to go through. For a Blake 7 episode, one that has such a convoluted plot, it doesn't take itself too seriously. Keela is as wacky, as funny, and as easy and enjoyable to watch as Roy Kinnear's persona can be expected to be, and it sucks to see him dead on the dust as Servalan drives off with his precious black gold, in spite of his own double-crossing, treacherous ways. The twinkly tune on the Space Princess contrasts nicely with the fact the passengers are all drugged up. There's a mass theft being undertaken, and a bunch of guards and a doctor have been massacred. Now that's something. For all his lovability, Keela shows a really negative side to himself by shooting dead a defenceless doctor, seemingly just to impress Sulin, his pretty one. Taryn's performance as a dead-headed passenger when Taina's doing her dying swan bit is hilarious, especially when he seems to take his time working out that, in that case, she'll die.
Well, that's all right, then.
Unfortunately not. Being an alien, she won't be given drugs on Earth.
Oh, but in that case, she'll die.
Precisely.
A clue that we shouldn't take matters too seriously. To be honest, this is Keela's show, and Roy Kinnear doesn't even threaten to disappoint. He was never going to survive the episode, but he's one of those people you wouldn't mind seeing in Blake 7 again. I mean, that never happened in Blake 7, so I don't know why I keep bringing up such a concept. But he is a good character, and how good is it that Season 4 finally seems to be doing this? Also, the inexplicable cardboard cutouts have been replaced with models again. Some of them look a little rubbish, but effects-wise we're being well served, and the model and effects work here in Gold is among some of the best. Try to look past the Sedgwayed in Servalan cameo, the casual approach taken to the violence, and some pretty gratuitous killings in addition to the poor doctor, and the bizarre expression by Avon / Paul Darrow when he tells the others he'll cover them.
I'll cover.
And you've got a very enjoyable episode. Not a classic, and the episode might be a bit on the Marmite side of things, but it's a strong 2 stars as far as I'm concerned. In fact, I'll go on a limb and state that it's probably the best of Season 4 thus far, and for once, given the quality of the episodes to come, that's not just saying something about Season 4. That concludes my review on Gold. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like this video, please share this video, please subscribe to my channel, and please check out my other Blake 7 episode reviews. And while Stephen Pacey is a very good actor, I don't think Tarrant necessarily is. Cheerio.